What's up, everybody? Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla -1 news roundup. That's right, in this video we will be continuing our chronological journey through the release and development of Godzilla -1 and its subsequent sequel. Today we are officially moving on to sequel territory, full stop. And in today's video we'll be talking about Toho's next Godzilla film, a Godzilla short film which you may or may not know about, and much more. So let's jump into it. I'm feeling kind of rancid right now. I've got like really allergies right now. Like I'm hoping it's allergies. It's either allergies or I'm like getting sick, which would suck, but I'm gonna hope that it's allergies. Maybe I'm sounding a little rough. I'm dying a little bit. Either way, let's jump into another Godzilla -1 news roundup. We are so close to being caught up. In today's video, we will be covering the first half of November. We're getting there. Starting out with some art, this first one was tweeted at director Takashi Yamazaki during the Godzilla -1 watch along, which was the topic of our last Godzilla -1 news and updates. This is Surayashi's Godzilla origami. They did an incredible job capturing the -1 spine aesthetic. That's incredibly impressive. This looks fantastic, wonderful little details, but they didn't stop there as they also did a Shinden origami, which looks incredible. Look at the propeller on the back. That is awesome. This is not artwork, but I did want to bring it up. Director Takashi Yamazaki shouted out my friend, my personal friend, Daichan's Movie Room. You should go check him out. He's kind of like Japanese D-Man. That's like what his channel is. He does Godzilla news and updates, but he's Japanese. He's got a very different perspective, obviously, because he's Japanese. He is incredibly entertaining. I love watching his videos, and apparently so does director Takashi Yamazaki, as he shouts him out here. Yamazaki shared a photo of his cat, Daichan. This is the inspiration for Godzilla. Look at that little sweetie. They are so cute. I love those big, cute kitty eyes. I want a cat so bad, man. Getting into the merchandise. A Shin Godzilla and a Godzilla -1 smartphone accessory clip was released. I really don't see the point in these. They attach to the back of your phone and you're supposed to slip your finger through the circle so that if you drop your phone it won't hit the ground. It seems a little unnecessary. Additionally, Godzilla 70th anniversary wedge audio chargers were released. I don't know what these are. What is a wedge audio? I don't know what that means, but there's 3 different Godzilla -1 designs, as you can see, and I think there's some adapted for Japan and then maybe China or something, because they obviously run on like different outlets and stuff. Additionally, Godzilla AC chargers were released featuring Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, and Burning Godzilla. Those, at least I can see the use of that. That's at least an aesthetic that I like. And at least those are actual chargers that plug into the wall. Then they released some Godzilla movie poster mouse pads. There are a couple different -1 variations. I think these look awesome. I don't know why you'd want a mouse pad that vertical, but they look really cool. It depends on how wide they are, I suppose. But they look really awesome. Obviously, great poster designs there. And then I actually really like that they've got the Space Godzilla poster. That's an epic poster. And then Shin Godzilla. Pretty cool. The Godzilla 70th anniversary stylish Godzilla -1 calendar officially went on sale at the start of November. Very cool. We've definitely talked about that in some Godzilla -1 news and updates. Light and water resistant 2nd edition Godzilla -1 stickers were released at Toho cinemas alongside the Godzilla -1 re-release in Japan for the 1-year anniversary of the film. These are sepia toned Godzilla stickers. I think these ones look awesome. In particular, the one of Godzilla doing his final charge there looks so cool. So that's pretty neat. A Godzilla x Harikiri collaboration happened, featuring a Godzilla heat ray pin which was released. This is Godzilla -1's face, supposed to represent him doing the heat ray or the atomic breath, and you could pin it on your tie, on your lapel, on your hat, or on all sorts of stuff. This one is beautiful, but boy, I bet it would be expensive. This is a Godzilla x Seiko watch collaboration. This is not the first Godzilla x Seiko collaboration. This watch features glow-in-the-dark spines. That is so freaking cool. The spines light up, as do the hands of the clock, which is very neat. Looks incredible. If you don't know, Seiko is the company that bought out the Waco building, the Ginza Waco building. They're the ones who own the clock tower that's so iconically featured in -1. The Godzilla x Koala merch officially dropped. We did talk about that in a previous -1 news and update, but you could see here it is on display at the Godzilla Store Tokyo. Bandai Namco revealed their Godzilla -1 Godzilla Collector's Edition. So this is a Godzilla posable action figure with 17 points of articulation. It has since released in the United States for, I believe, about $24. $64, and you could get it at Walmart's and GameStop's. Actually, I saw mine at GameStop, although I eventually had to order it from Amazon. There it is. It comes with an Atomic Breath feature, and it's part of the new line that they also have a Godzilla Final Wars, Godzilla 2004, and a Kiryu in the same line. That's the Bandai Namco Collector's line, I believe. Godzilla -1 merch and pre-orders for the Voxel Wars Godzilla -1 figure, as well as the Nintendo Switch, which now features Godzilla Voxel Wars, opened at the Hibiya Chantra on Godzilla Day. This is the Midtown Hibiya Mall, which sits in the center of Godzilla Square. It's where the big Godzilla takeover happens, and it's right there at Godzilla Festival. You can see a lot of the figures and merchandise we've talked about in these videos on sale here, including the Heat Ray Godzillas, as well as some really awesome Godzilla shirts in the background, which we'll talk about in just a second. Here's additional pictures of a takeover at a different store at the same Hibiya Mall, including the Godzilla calendars, which we just discussed. Additionally, at Godzilla Fest 2024, they had the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 2023 Voxel Wars collaboration figure on display. You can see it there. It actually looks really awesome. For Godzilla Day, a bunch of announcements happened, including some figures. Bandai Movie Monster Series announced a brand new line of figures, the posed Godzilla figures, starting with Godzilla 2023 poster posed version. This is, of course, supposed to be able to line up one-to-one with the poster for Godzilla -1, or as one-to-one as Bandai Movie Monster Series could. I think it's a pretty neat gimmick. It's a pretty cool one, and it still seems to feature the standard range of articulation for a Bandai figure, which is 4 points of articulation. Very cool. Additionally, the Bandai Godzilla 2023 Heat Ray Radiant Color version Monster King series was revealed. This is a pretty awesome one. It features a new paint job on Godzilla's spines that makes them look like they're glowing and a lot more translucent than before, although did they not already release a Heat Ray version of the Monster King series Godzilla? Maybe I'm going crazy, but I definitely thought they did, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think they did though. I think this one's just a slight variation of it. Super 7 revealed the Toho Ultimates Godzilla -1 charging version. So I know a lot of people were really frustrated that this didn't come with a beam, but actually, as I learned by watching Kaiju Canuck, it turns out there is a very specific licensing agreement Toho has you undergo if you're gonna sell Godzilla figures, and that's that if Godzilla's spines are ejected in the charging position, that means he cannot feature a heat ray. Because Godzilla does not have ejected spines when the heat ray comes out of his mouth. The spines slam back into his back, releasing the heat ray. Therefore, there is no justification from their perspective for having a Godzilla figure with ejected spines that also comes with a heat ray. I think that's really ridiculous, but I think that Super 7 nailed it with this. This is an $85 figure, same price point as their other Godzilla -1 figures. It looks awesome. Obviously, I was a big fan of their Godzilla -1. You can go check out my review for it right now. The ejected spines look fantastic. That's a really cool thing. I love that they did that, and I think it's fine that it didn't come with an Atomic Breath because the ejected spines do look that awesome. It also seems that they are semi-transparent, at least in the promotional pictures. It looks awesome, man. I think it's super cool. If you want to buy anything from the Super 7 website, please consider using the promo code KingofKings1954. That is my promo code. Every purchase you make, I get a small commission of. It is actually an incredibly helpful and super nice way to support me while getting yourself a cool figure. But you don't have to. You should use some creator's creator code, though. The SH Monster Arts Godzilla -1 had an official re-release in Japan, so if you were holding out to get it, it should be at a lower price point now, as the re-release should have dropped the value of the original release as well. The UA Monsters Godzilla 2023 was revealed. It also features a lights and sound gimmick that lights up the dorsal spines and I believe makes Godzilla roar. It looks super cool while illuminated. That is an awesome way to do the dorsal spine illumination. Godzilla Battle Line celebrated Godzilla Day, which is November 3rd, Godzilla's anniversary, and this year was the 70th anniversary for Godzilla. They celebrated Godzilla Day by every person who logged in got a Godzilla -1 set, which featured both the Godzilla -1 and Godzilla -1 Ginza version. Very cool. To celebrate the first anniversary of Godzilla -1's release, Toho released a high-quality textless poster from the film. It looks very cool. I love that they did that in official high quality, even though we already had wallpaper versions of that without the text already, but that's still cool. This one's actually released by director Takashi Yamazaki. The giant Wara Godzilla in Chikuzen, Japan, was under construction. This is a giant straw Godzilla that was under construction. Yamazaki released the BTS photo of it here. It is as tall as high-tension wires they are advertising. Then, following Godzilla Day, a festival opened up there in Chikuzen, Japan. This is a festival held every year, not just for Godzilla, but Godzilla was featured at it this year, featuring a 10-meter tall straw Godzilla, so that's over 30 feet, straw Godzilla, at Danto Tokogashi Fest. That's the festival. It's held every year. This year it's being held from November 2nd until February some point. So that means this thing's still there right now. It looks incredible. incredible. There's a couple photos of it showing the incredible detail on this thing. The spines look awesome, very clearly Godzilla -1. They did an incredible job bringing this thing to life. And you can see here's a little map of the festival where you can go see Godzilla. I like it. It's very cool. This is not the first time they've done that, as back in 2016, they featured a Shin Godzilla, and the Shin Godzilla was actually able to glow red at night, as is this one, also posted by director Takashi Yamazaki. At night, Godzilla's spines light up, his tail goes crazy. That's wild that his full tail lights up. That's cool. And then his eyes beam a turquoise color. Very awesome. As I said, this thing should technically still be there right now, which is pretty cool. Toho premiered an official short film featuring many of the Godzillas throughout Godzilla history, but in particular for the purpose of this video, Godzilla -1. And many people may not know about it. That'll be the big topic of the next news and updates, but for now they released the teaser poster for it. It's called Tokyo Godzillas, and the teaser poster features Chibi Godzilla, Godzilla -1, Godzilla 54. That looks to be Godzilla 2003 or 2002, Godzilla 2004, Godzilla 1995, and Shin Godzilla. And I believe they are all sized accurately according to their height in the actual demonstration, but they are scaled semi-accurate on this poster as well. Obviously, Shin Godzilla is by far the biggest of that bunch. Very cool. The poster features all the Godzillas doing their atomic breath, and what this actually was an enormous CGI special effects display that was premiered on the Tokyo Metro building, one of the larger buildings in Tokyo. The Tokyo Metro building has appeared in a couple Godzilla movies. This was the second Godzilla collaboration event that happened on the Tokyo Metro building, as I do believe this happened last year or a couple years ago as well, and it screened on November 30th. It is so cool. I can't wait to talk about that in the next one. It's very neat. Godzilla Expo Osaka began with many Godzilla suits on display. As you can see here, there's actually quite a few from Godzilla Final Wars, including Godzilla himself and some of his allies and opponents. If you don't remember, Godzilla Expo Osaka is a Godzilla Expo that featured suits, behind the scenes information on the making of Godzilla films throughout the history of Godzilla, and Godzilla -1 did have a large presence there. Godzilla Chromatic Fest began in Japan. This was for the 3-day weekend starting November 1st, and this had the re-release of Godzilla 1954 4K, Shin Godzilla Ortho, and Godzilla -1 Color. In the US, Godzilla -1 and Godzilla Color both had re-releases, with 13 minutes of bonus content attached to it. If you want to see what was in those 13 minutes, I did review that on the channel where I went through everything we learned in that bonus content, so you can go check out that video now. A trailer was released for it as well. That's pretty cool. Godzilla -1's first broadcast happened in Japan on television, with director Takashi Yamazaki hosting a Q&A during that. That was the entire topic of last Godzilla -1 news and updates. That's where we go really in depth on the behind the scenes and making of Godzilla -1, as well as talking about the alternate endings for the movie that director Takashi Yamazaki opened up about. Also, that's so funny that the thumbnail looks like Burning Godzilla. I was trying to make Godzilla look more injured when I colored that thumbnail, but it definitely looks like Burning Godzilla. Sorry if I misled anybody. I didn't mean to make it look like Burning Godzilla. That was just a kind of happy accident. But I'm so thankful for all the support I've gotten on that video. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot to me. Following the broadcast, Toho officially promoted the Godzilla -1 novelization written by writer and director of Godzilla -1 Takashi Yamazaki as being the official canon extended version of Godzilla -1 that is available on Amazon now. Godzilla Color had its first broadcast in Japan on television on November 2nd. At the end of the Godzilla -1 broadcast on November 1st, director Takashi Yamazaki was announced in a special news bulletin to be returning to Godzilla. He will be the next director of Toho's upcoming Godzilla film. Actually, very strangely, just today from when I'm recording this, Toho posted the same emergency broadcast again on their YouTube channel. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if that means more announcements are like right around the corner, but I'm excited to find out. So, all we know so far is that director Takashi Yamazaki is slated to return. An English announcement was posted, as well as a little message of him excitingly announcing that he will be back, and then finally he tweeted that he will do it. All we really know at the moment is that director Takashi Yamazaki will be back. While there is no official confirmation that this is a Godzilla -1 sequel, it seems incredibly likely given that it came at the end of the Godzilla -1 broadcast, and given how popular Godzilla -1 was, and how much attention and interest there is in a sequel, as well as how vocal Yamazaki has been since the original film's release about wanting to make a sequel to that movie. Another thing that I think is very interesting to note is the next MonsterVerse film is slated to come out in 2027. As we have now learned, there cannot be two Godzilla films released by rival studios in the same calendar year, which means the new Toho film cannot come out in 2027. We also know that Toho typically operates on a one-year timetable. 1 year after they announce a Godzilla movie, they will release said Godzilla movie with about 4 to 6 months of marketing and promotion leading up to that. I think it is incredibly likely that the next Toho Godzilla film will come out this year at the end of 2025 in November. That's going to be my guess. I'm going to think they're going to do it for the big 71. I think they'll still be calling it 70th anniversary. maybe. But I think that they are going to try and release it this year, 2025, and at the very latest, 2026, but I really do think it'll be this year. We also know director Takashi Yamazaki will be working with his first US studio to produce a United States movie here in not too long, and so he needs Godzilla to be done before he can start that work, and I do believe that's supposed to happen in 2026. So this is the year. I'm thinking this is the year. If not this November, then absolutely I'm saying next November by the latest, and that I'd be willing to bet would only happen if there are some like intense delays to the filming process. But I'm gonna bet this year or at the start of next, somewhere in that range. Toho typically likes to release Godzilla movies in November or December though, historically. So we'll see. That'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on the next Godzilla film being announced by Toho? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And what were your guys' thoughts on all of the releases and reveals at Godzilla Fest this year? I thought it was a lot of cool stuff. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to continue to make videos like this for you in the first place. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.